Anyway, that's what I took it as.
I do have concern, no matter what we put the budget at, are you gonna stay within it?
That's our plan, that's why we
When
come,
you're-
I
right
come,
now, you're not.
I come to you and I'm telling you what we need. I know we're not now, that I absorbed this and absorbed what we got. And so that's why I'm giving you what I need, and that's why I'm asking for that, what was the additional?
I haven't looked at
No.
payroll, but have you had any overtime at all?
We're always gonna have overtime.
Yeah.
Now, some of it's grant funded, so for example, we had, how many of us were out there? I was out there on a Saturday night, we had a detail where we worked with agencies. We had Newton County, Joplin, Paw Marshal Service, Missouri Highway Patrol, Kansas Highway Patrol, us, and Seneca Police Department. And we had a joint traffic cross. In fact, our stats were, we made 76, just the Cherokee County Sheriff's Office made 76 stops in that small amount of time, and arrested DUIs, but that's all grant. So that overtime comes in, if it's grant funded, the state pays, will reimburse that back. So you'll see a big chunk of overtime for that detail, and it's marked as step details.
That comes back to you, it don't go in the general fund, that comes back to you then,
That is supposed to be reimbursed, the way state writes it, that's reimbursed back into.
the department. Okay.
That's how they write their contracts. So that one doesn't, but the others that we talked about don't.
Does.
Right, so that's why I'm asking that 93,000 addition, for those payments that come in that we're paying, that we've had these positions. And we know that it's been over in the past, so that's why I'm saying, if I can fix it now, then that helps us to stay within and stay where we need to be.
I disagree about you not having control over this, going over the budget, because in your own pocket, if you run out of money before the next payday, what do? You don't keep just getting stuff. And if you have to send somebody home.
So you'd like to
because you
lay out
can't
deputies?
pay- I'm talking about overtime, I'm not talking about laying
We
off
can't, there's
deputies.
things we can't do, because they have court, guys that work nights have court, and we're only running 2. Now, if we get to positions on one, where we have 3 on each shift, we could send people home, but right now, we only have 2 working at night, and one of them has court the next day. You can't send and have one person. Now, we could, back in the 90s, I worked this county by myself a lot of times, and there's a couple of times I was getting my butt kicked pretty good out here on this side of the road, and thank goodness for Chitopa or Baxter Springs or whoever coming out to help me. But there's been a couple of times I've got some pretty good scraps because I was the only person on for this entire county. So we try to avoid that at all costs. So overtime is something that we can control, but it's always going to be there. Now, we have reduced the amount that we had. We had, we're not allowed, they were being allowed to clock in to drive to work from, even if they lived in the county, they were being allowed to clock in early and come. And we have taken that. It was like, there's things that you have, you know, the privilege of having a vehicle. So you clock out your driveway and you drive to work. So we're doing what we can to control it, we reduce it, but there's always going to be overtime when you're running law enforcement.
Gosh, that shocks me that was even allowed.
When I
It'd
started,
be an advantage to live an hour away, wouldn't it?
when I started, we went home at 1 o'clock in the morning. So from 1 to 8 in the morning, unless we got called out from the house, nobody was on duty. You didn't have sheriff's department on working.
That's no good.
No, so we've
That's one.
come a long ways, and what seems like a long time, it's really not very long. We've come a long ways in 30 years.
'Cause
And that's on the backs of a lot of
That time
people.
of night, anybody outside is, we are in the morning, something's up anyway.
And then we got a rotation, our sergeants work split shifts to help reduce overtime as well. So we got 2 guys on nights, or 2 deputies on nights, 2 deputies on days. The sergeant works that split shift, and to reduce overtime, if a night shift guy's on vacation, the sergeant will work night shift. If a day shift's on vacation, then he'll back up and work it. So that's reduced overtime a lot for us too, where we're not just paying, we don't have to pay people to come in. So we're doing things with the schedule. The jail's working
Well, that
on,
would be getting better, not
jail's
worse.
working on new schedules. And we are better, I believe, compared to. So,
I mean, the pay, just like that, I can see a lot of money just in that, what you were talking about, they were allowed to start their time as they left the house. That
Yeah.
shocks me.
jail's working on a new schedule too, which will help hopefully reduce some of that. So
I mean, pretty nice that they get their gas paid to and from work. They sure don't need that time.
Do you know how much over the sheriff budget was in 23?
I do not, like I said, I didn't have it in my folder with me, so, I don't have, I do
And I
know.
wasn't even aware of this till like 2 weeks ago. Supposedly the sheriff's budget has been over budget for the last couple of years.
7 years, at least what I was told.
7?
We could get that out of
And that's why, how did we not know that? There was enough money left over in the general to make up the difference, is my understanding, but that department was over budget.
For
Consistently.
the past 7 years.
Consistently.
And I don't, again,
And Brian's working off a budget that we set last year that was cut 30,000 from the previous year. She wasn't involved in the budget process.
You know why that was?
I know exactly what.
Number one man that was gonna be sheriff came in here trying to look good. And you thought it was a good idea at the time.
But now you're working off a budget that you didn't have any input on.
yeah. And that's where, and that, again, that's what my request was, you know, we cut the raises, okay, that's what it is. But that whole line item wasn't for just raises, it would, I had figured in these things, I'm talking about the school resource officers, and so that's why around that 200,000 mark would be what you're giving me, and then the school resource officers and that, I'm talking for that task force officer position.
This day and age, you gotta have it. There's no question about that.
And the
And we used to have more than one at each school, right?
Columbus used to have 2.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's two different,
Columbus has two.
We
They
used
used
to.
to.
well, schools.
Well, technically, they still do, but one of them is over, is it Highland?
Highland. That's right,
Which is the
And they probably need one.
Interlocal.
Yeah.
interlocal school where they have the, and so Columbus PD has that school resource officer position.
Okay.
And then Columbus 493 is where Deputy Sharp works, and then Deputy Moore's at Riverton.
Yeah. And more.
Do we have one? Baxter?
Baxter, well, right now, Chief Comer was the school resource officer, so I'm not sure what they're,
Okay, okay.
so they're working, but Baxter has one, and Baxter Police Department wants to maintain that position.
Who's Lena?
Galena is,
Cameron Pinion.
no,
Pinion's not it anymore?
no, they just hired her. Carly, yeah, Carly's her first name, but she was one of our dispatchers for a while and went to Baxter Police Department. And then she started at Stopa, and then and she's doing really good with them. But so, and she works for the Galena Police Department, same way, just funded by the schools, same situation we have. But she's with Galena
Through
Police.
the interlocal.
No, she's with the school district, yeah, with the Galena School District. Yeah, our only interlocal is,
Do we not have one in Southeast
uh,
at Weir?
Crawford County. Mhm.
Well, I figured they had, I knew they figured they had Cherokee, but I didn't know if they had Weir or not.
Yes, he goes back and forth since he's with Southeast. And he'll, just like our RSOs cover the high school and the elementaries, and he does the same thing. He covers the elementaries. He's commissioned through Cherokee County, so he can handle stuff.
Well, I haven't had any complaints for sure about seeing deputies out and about. There are places that I've never seen before. Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I greatly appreciate what you did give me and what was there, and if there was any room to make any kind of a plea, that would be my plea would be for those 3 positions. And I think that would absorb what we need to absorb.
You're saying you can't do that with that 100,000?
No, I think we're over that, the way we're over, I think it'd be, I think the 100,000 you gave me is almost just making up for the raises that was given prior to me taking over.
The raises that were given prior to you taking over.
Last year's raises, yes.
So we had raises, okay. You guys are gonna have to settle in a number, because I'm not willing to settle in on anything higher than we've got here.
What number do you absolutely need in that salary line item to cover what was put in there last year and what you got going so far this year?
I believe, was it 128 what you had cut it, what we went to?
What'd you say, Brian?
Was it, I'm sorry, was it 128,000 is what you?
Raised it?
Yes.
We raised it 100,000.
100,000?
Just because we have an auctioneer here doesn't mean we're auctioning numbers back
Right.
and forth. It should be based on need, not,
Right.
oh, you offer this and I'm asking this.
No, I just want to get my numbers
should
right, because
be-
he asked me a question of what I feel like I need. And I think how, with what I put together and what I feel like is, if it was that 100 and then the 93,000, which is that overtime and that school resource officers, again, not to spend that school resource officer that, oh, now I got extra money to spend, it's just, it's there because they're putting it back in. And we know those positions are constant. There's always going to be, that has to be one of the first positions we always fill, because there has to be somebody at those schools to protect our children.
Oh, yeah, that's a must.
So, which comes to 193,000.
So you need another 93,000 to make up for the school resource officer, basically, which a lot of that comes back to the county. It just goes into general fund.
Correct.
But you've got to have that 93,000 added to the 100 in order to fund that, because it doesn't come back
Corey,
to
it's
your
the
line.
same way it's worked for year after year after year. I mean, you make the point of it's coming back to the county, that's true, but it's always worked that way.
I haven't always been here, so I just know what I'm doing now, and this is how I want to work and what I want to present. I do respect your decision, and I know it's going to be your 3 decision. I respect it, and I'll walk out of here working with you the same way. I'm not hard-headed, not looking for an argument, not looking for anything, but when asking my opinion, asking what I feel like, this is what I want to present, and I respect your 3s.
I just,
But do we not fund that, and then at the end of the year, your salary line's over 90,000?
But he's already over and saying pretty much tough, because that's the way it is.
but I just don't understand that general fund. I don't, it's, that, to me, it goes back to the general fund, that the sheriff's department is doing what it should to protect the safety of the kids. I don't know why they don't put it back into the department that come out of that. I mean, that's the one.
Because it's easier to do it one systematic way. I mean, if we allowed the different departments to keep what they generate, Heather would have all the money, because she's the one that sends out the bills and takes in all the money. So should her department have all that, or a cut of that money because she generates it all? It's just, that's not how budgeting works. You go off need, and just because they generate some money that comes back in doesn't mean it goes back. You put it all up front with that request, knowing or expecting not to get anything to replenish it. And it's transparency too,
But there again, you're saying you need a minimum of 193,000 to supply the need for what you have personnel today.
I believe, so yes, that's what that's what I'm asking for, the quick numbers I figured out. And again, and I respect what you're saying, but this is where we've been at now for however long, and so I'm trying to fix a problem that was a problem, and I'm trying to fix it with you, work with you to fix the problem, so we no longer have this problem. That's where I want to be at. I don't want, next year I want to come in and if I do have a couple of increases or a couple things I want to present to do something, and we talk about that, but we're not trying to fix a problem. We're instead going, okay, let's move forward, or let's work together on what we need to do here. And so that's where I'm at now, trying to fix, I want this fixed.
Everybody wants safety, I get that, but, we could hire 10 more officers and be more safe. You've gotta have a cutting off period.
But the FBI funded officer, that money comes back to you, the sheriffs.
No,
They don't.
that would be a, put back in.
Okay.
Now, I say that, I don't know if you all, I don't know, you guys might go make a decision and say it is or not, but I don't believe, I think that the way that would go is it would go.
Back in here. Okay.
So you're looking at 461, 467, Corey?
Do what? No, I'm sorry.
You're looking at a total of 461, 467 increase?
I haven't even made it that far to be caught honest with you. 67. 461, 467? That what you said?
That's what I got, what you get.
That's what I got. If you add the 93 into what we done Monday on increases, and then if you, granted his additional 93,000 in wages, you got 461, 467 increase. Which would get a total budget of 587 to 16.
$3,587, $816.
3,587, 016.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna vote against the budget because of this, but I am gonna voice my opposition to the increase when we do have to vote. Yep.
Are you good with the 93,000 increase that the sheriff's asking in the salary line item, which would be 193,000 instead of 100,000 we gave? Yeah, rewrite that so I don't lose track. What's your thoughts, Jack?
My thoughts is, I just wanna make sure the schools are safe, that's the main thing, and the people in Cherokee County is, but schools is my top priority too. And, the body scanner, I like, I know we need one, but I mean, let's check grants for that, and maybe come up with something, but, yeah. I'm good with it, as long as the kids are safe with us. But I'm all for protecting the kids and teachers, administration, and schools.
Well, what was your total number?
Total budget number,
Uh-huh.
$3,587,000 and
$16.
$3,587,016.
Okay.
Say that right.
Michelle, we need that number to go to Jean.
Okay, what's the
Three
number?
million, 587,016.
016.
3587.
$3,587,016.
Yes.
Is he here?
Pardon?
Is he here at the courthouse?
I don't think so. I
Oh,
think
maybe
they-
he's gone.
There must be a
Okay,
reason.
so I'll find a place to put,
Well, you'll just email it.
Okay.
Yeah.
okay, so he'll know.
Yeah, you have to email
And
the
this for
sheriff
sheriff?
and the road and bridge we did earlier.
No, I don't know what that number was. I didn't write it in, I'm sorry.
That's fine, I'll give it to you.
Okay, this is sheriff. Road and bridge.
And I think we just,
Will they need a breakdown of that?
no,
Okay, just the final number.
yeah. Well, nobody has anything left for
Well,
Brian?
did,
Do
oh,
you
sorry.
have anything for us?
Thank you very much for working with me on this. Appreciate it. It's the funnest time of the year for all of us.
Corey, what do you have for the treasurer?
Thank you,
Brian.
Commissioners.
Appreciate you coming back.
That's your SRO, please.
I have a higher
That's something
number
to
than
think
I have on her list.
401-150.
Yeah, but
Thank you.
does her request that?
County treasurer,
401.
$28,000 increase. Because she had to increase it because of postage increase, because of sales and publication on the, property.
And
She had
what is that, section 2 what?
I,
I,
Thank you.
do I. Michelle, are you ready for road and bridge?
yes, tell me that number.
$3,681,740.
Okay. And then I gave you the class limited paper, right? Is that what we needed? Class limited?
Yes.
That was what we needed?
Oh, no. Oh, what'd you give me?
I gave you the paper they
Oh,
sent
where'd
us.
I put it, Michelle? Oh, it was. Feel free to look one sheet of paper.
Mm-hmm.
Set it aside, you should never have moved.
We'll have her print it again.
Better have her print you three.
Yeah.
So he had already floated 120 for Class London, right?
I believe so.
Let's see. Yes. Oh, it's a mess.
Here's three.
Thank
Three
you.
copies.
Thank you.
Is that the same number you had for road and bridge, Myra?
What about it?
The number you had for road and bridge? Just want to double check, make sure I'm getting the right number. Getting, only thing get two scratch pads.
3,681,740.
740.
And that was the equipment increase, the uniform increase, 100,000 for raises and grader pay. That's right.
Half the grader.
That's what I thought.
Okay.
Just double check.
Hey Corey, do we need to pack a lunch next week?
After today, other than giving Gene the numbers and then waiting for the public hearing, that's about it, isn't it? Other than
So no lunch next week?
back to normal scheduling.
Well, you know, when Jack was here before and Pat was here, they would break for lunch.
Yeah.
They stayed all day though, too. Every
Some
Monday.
days, not every Monday.
Yeah.
Yeah, we always went down the road to the cafe. But that's short, so it's gone.
Will anybody figure out which of those might be in reserve?
Is that, would that not be their cash asset? 1.4 million?
I would think.
And that's kind of what I come up with right quick.
$1.8 million, sure a lot in receivables. When their entire budget is just a little over $1 million.
Well, their total liabilities is $1,025,000.
I think it. Bring it back to, when he comes next year, we'll be more. ready for questions instead of waiting to come after the fact. You guys good with that?
Yeah, I'm gonna put this in with their budget request vote.
I think that number is already reported, so the only ones we had were
Those two, the
Those two.
sheriff and the road and bridge.
There it is.
these numbers are only gonna get worse. When you're giving those numbers, it's
Yeah.
gonna make this
Yeah.
worse. Are we through with the budget?
I think we are for now.
I make a motion here.
Second?
Motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Here's one more.